I know I should be covering a big story like the fact that John Bolton's home was raided by the FBI this morning, but I really don't care. And I'm just going to quote Roger Stone on this one. Hey, John, how does it feel? No, we have another story that really is make or break for the identity of America.
Now, with big changes at a restaurant chain that is an American staple, Cracker Barrel is renovating its locations, but many loyal customers say the change is removing what makes the restaurant such a great dining experience and taking to social media to voice their complaints.
Well, apparently there's still a CEO out there that didn't get the memo. Go woke, go broke. Hey, I'm Pastor Marty, and welcome to the afternoon drive. Pardon me. Hey, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That will give you notification of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless, downright to almost complete perfection reasonings and rantings. Hey, please make sure that you share these videos to your social media platforms. It's literally the only way I can get the word out that we're here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of the afternoon drive. Well, before we get into the rebranding disaster of Cracker Barrel, let me tell you just a couple of quick personal experiences I've had with the Barrel. First, when I was pastoring in Ohio, we lived just over the Michigan borderline, and one of my sons was in for a visit, and I had to take him back to the Detroit airport. We got into Michigan, and the last exit before you go out into no man's land, before you reach the airport, is the place where they have all the restaurants. And my son was hungry, and we were really early, and he probably wasn't going to get any, food at the airport. So I pulled off, and I was looking for the Red Lobster, but they were closed for remodeling. We ended up at Cracker Barrel. And Cracker Barrel is what it is, and it's got that whole, Olson's Mercantile, 19th century grandma's house kind of feel and vibe to it. And we got fried chicken or something, and we're enjoying our meal. And my son looks out into the general store area, and that I actually like that better than the restaurant, going there and getting the old candy and stuff. But he looks out there and he sees the line of people waiting to check out, and he says, Dad, there's somebody out there that I know is famous. I don't know his name or why he's famous, but you would. So I look out, and it's Reverend Jesse Jackson. Yes, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. And he had someone with him. I don't know if it was a politician or his private security detail, but I looked out, and our eyes met, and he realized that I had figured out he was Jesse Jackson. And I realized, wow, that's Jesse Jackson. And I kind of broke into a little bit of a smile, and he looked at me and smiled, and we nodded at each other at the same time. And I was going to get up and say something to him, not even about politics, but, introduce myself as a pastor and say, maybe get into a theological thing with him. And then I just kind of let it slide. But that was my one famous encounter with someone at Cracker Barrel. Eaten there a couple of times. Overall, liked the experience. One time, ate there for Thanksgiving, and the stuffing was as dry as sawdust. That was my only bad experience ever at a Cracker Barrel. It's not one of my big go-to places, but I know a lot of people absolutely love it. I kind of have the Tim Hawkins, the comedian, take on Cracker Barrel, sitting there with a horse castrator from the 19th century, just hanging above my head, not always a good vibe. But overall, I like the fact that it was an unchanged piece of Americana where you could step back in time. But apparently, that's not good enough for the new CEO.
I think what's important is that we are listening to our guests. We're doing this all for them. What they've said is they love the new seating. We're adding in booths, making the chairs more comfortable, putting in new lighting, brightening up the paint color. But what's important is things that people love about Cracker Barrel, the soul of Cracker Barrel, is not changing.
We're doing this rebrand because it's what our customers want. They want this. There's just been overwhelming support for this, and it won't lose its soul.
Well, first of all, you wouldn't know if it lost its soul or not, because just looking at you, I can tell. If you are not the CEO of Cracker Barrel, you wouldn't be a customer. You wouldn't be their clientele. That would not be a place you would go to, would not be a place that you would patronize. And this ought to be a lesson to corporate America. Don't hire people to represent you and to make your decisions who do not believe in your mission and your product, your service, and what you're doing. When someone wants to come in and radically flip everything in a new direction and do it all different, be careful. Be careful. And of course, she wants to make it sound like that it's, just a handful of people who don't, because everybody loves it. Let's get a couple things straight. The reason she was on Good Morning America is because the backlash online has been so ferocious that the marketing people at Cracker Barrel, after they've just spent, are you ready for this? $700 million with 3 marketing firms to decide how to redo the logo, which was basically take the iconic Cracker Barrel logo, which had a barrel and a cracker, an old guy leaning up next to the barrel, and get rid of that and just give us the word Cracker Barrel. Ooh, it's as soulless and lifeless as what corporate America comes up with. Changed the decorum inside, got the bright walls now. The idea was supposed to feel like eating at grandma's house at a table and chairs, and now they've got booths, and it looks like Denny's. That's all I can think of, the pictures that I've seen. It was terrible. Terrible. And of course, again, she wouldn't know the heart and soul of the place because she doesn't know the heart and soul of the place. And no, the backlash is fierce. And I was going to post a bunch of videos of people on TikTok giving their opinions, but Mark Dice went straight for the jugular and said, not even liberal Democrats like this.
The official Twitter account of the Democrat Party, @TheDemocrats, posted this famous picture, a painting from Norman Rockwell called Free Speech, which is a meme that a lot of people use to illustrate that they're saying something that's unpopular or that's brave. And they captioned it, "We think the Cracker Barrel rebrand sucks too." Even David Hogg, that sissy little soy boy who, until the Democrats implemented another coup, was like vice chair of the Democrat Party. That's how far off the rails that party's become. He commented saying, "Let's bring the country together and all agree this is bad and needs to be reversed immediately. Not for the left or for the right, but for America."
And a lot of restaurants are leaning and going back to nostalgia, things that the customers are really comfortable with.
We never left it.
Yeah, you never left it, but you're changing up. You're kind of going a different direction. Why is that your strategy?
Yeah, inquiring minds want to know, why are you reinventing the wheel?
The Cracker Barrel needs to feel like the Cracker Barrel for today and for tomorrow.
What corporate speak that is. It needs to be the Cracker Barrel of today and the Cracker Barrel of tomorrow. You missed the entire point that your brand is yesterday. Your brand is yesteryear. Your brand is a step back in time, a simpler time, rocking chairs on the porch. Let's have us a game of checkers on a barrel. Let's go inside and get some penny candy. And let's sit down and have some victuals like we would have at grandma's house, some chicken fried steak or fried chicken or a slab of ham or a chunk of turkey. Now she talking about we're going to have roast chicken and herbs. You do realize you have a southern decor, right? I know the fringe left loon, especially that wingnut on TikTok a few days ago.
I don't want to see any of you MAGA people in a Mexican restaurant or a Chinese restaurant or an Indian restaurant.
Well, you'll never catch me in an Indian restaurant. Nothing against Indian people, not crazy about the food. Like Mexican food, love Chinese food, love Italian food. So this, and she said, and you MAGA people, stay out. You just drag your fat over to Cracker Barrel where all of you racists and rednecks hang out. Well, somebody better give that memo to Jesse Jackson. But I digress. You've got a culture. You've got a brand. Stick with it. But apparently, you have been following the wrong advice.
I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men. And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had another approach.
It was a brand in decline. You were number one. Number one in the light beer market. Number one. Then she insults the customer base. You know, these inappropriate commercials. What? The commercials that had guys and beautiful girls and frat boy kind of humor. You know, stuff that was funny. That was inappropriate. Of course, this was back when we were putting, 350-pound women on the cover of the swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated because America at that point had been just absolutely infected with this woke mind virus. Thank God most of that got excised and exercised the day Donald Trump got elected, and there really has been a cultural shift. But see, Cracker Barrel didn't get the memo. Look what one stunt with Dylan Mulvaney did to Bud Light. And that woman, Niner Vanderhoff or Hooven or whatever her name was, Hannah something or other, lost her job. Apparently, though, what'd you do? She worked for you now? Is she advising all this? I mean, do you not understand the kind of backlash that Bud Light suffered and still suffers? Shall we take another stroll down memory lane?
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today. Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible. Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch.
What if all the customers are coming at you hard enough about the look of the restaurant and they want to go back to the old way? Would you do it?
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing.
Why does she giggle like she's a 13-year-old girl?
Oh, everybody loves what we're doing. It's just wonderful. Nobody's going to want to go back to the way it was. It's so progressive. It's so forward thinking because we want to be the Cracker Barrel of today and the Cracker Barrel of tomorrow. And that's why we have everything that kind of really, we look like we had Chip and Joanna Gaines come in here and redecorate for us. We could actually call this Magnolia Barrel. People do not like what you've got, what you're doing, and it's not working.
Cracker Barrel has unveiled its new logo, and it's not going over well. The company just released the new image and almost immediately lost nearly $100 million in market value. Lost nearly $100 million in market value.
are you talking about?
Lost nearly $100 million in market value.
The good news, Bud Light's ecstatic today because now they have a shot at rebuilding their image because everybody's going to be talking about, making fun of Cracker Barrel. By the way, of all the memes that are out there, and there are hundreds of them, this one's my favorite. Hunter Biden in a barrel. Crack Barrel.